Hello, everybody. My name is Kostas. I am from Greece, and here's my new project. Listen, I'm a huge sport fan, more particularly an enormous NBA fan. I'm not gonna lie, I've only been watching full-time NBA for probably about 4 to 5 years. Given the fact it wasn't so easily accessed from my country, but here comes NBA League Pass, the internet, and what have you, and boom. Now it's all on our faces, everywhere you go, everywhere you look at. So, long story short, I've been watching full time for the past 4 or 5 seasons. I don't want to rant more than I have to. I'm a Golden State Warrior fan. But wait, before you bash me as a GSW fanboy and what have you, and this guy, he's another fanboy and he's making a podcast. What does he know? Eh, I've been a fan. I've been a fan of them since Mark Jackson came in. I like their style. I like since they had a good run, and they fell short to the Clippers that year in 7. Sorry, and I've been a fan of them ever since. I just wanted to clear it out so that so that whatever position I take, that I don't wanna be. I don't want to pretend like I'm objective. I probably am not in many cases. So that is that. Now, without ranting any more longer, what this is. This podcast will probably be my thoughts about the current state of the NBA product. News, rumors, what have you. In the future, if this goes well, if we get followers, you can of course ask me anything you like, hit me in a message, in the comment section, whatever, and I will answer as many questions as I can. I like I like to have a conversation. So, this will be a weekly thing, I think. Maybe more, maybe less, depending on my program. And of course, whether this goes well or bad. The better it goes, the more podcasts I will produce. So, without any further ado, here we go. Let me start with a general thought on the NBA product. So, as I said, I am from Greece. I come from Greece. So, I grew up with European basketball, naturally. I am 26 years old, so I grew up on the Michael Jordan era, although I never got to see him in his full strength. I have, of course, downloaded many games of him and been watching. So, what I want to get my point is that it isn't any comparison. Of course, you know that European and American basketball, nothing. So many levels above the NBA is. What does annoy me? What does make me cringe sometimes? The biggest issue, the steps, the traveling violation. they try to get everything right. What Jeff Van Gundy often says and complains about, that it's a 40 point game, in the fourth quarter, and the referees will often stop the game and watch the replays to see if they have to add or subtract 1 or 2 seconds on the shot clock. And the game is already done, but they have to get it to the point, they have to get it. But when it comes to traveling, they don't care. Simply as that, they don't care. The most recent example of that was the Lebron James traveling the other day on Game 4 of the finals versus Celtics. That kind of thing makes my skin crawl. In a league so good. But it is what it is. That's about the only thing I can think about. So, I'm also, come to think of it, I'm also a LeBron James hater. So, I want to get that out of the way. I do not think he is close to Michael Jordan as being the best there ever was. I do not think he ever will be quite the Michael Jordan. I think he might be number 2, and that's where he will stay. I have many reasons why I hate him. I do not hate him, I hate the choices he has made. The kind of persona he tries to portray, I hate that. So, let me take this from the start. So, you have this kid, coming out of high school, getting drafted from his whole home team, from the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's all good and what have you. He closed his way in the league. From day one, you could see he would be something special. Every player and man who ever saw him play in the high school, I recently watched an Allen Iverson interview where he said it too, that he watched him play in high school and he knew by that moment that he would be an amazing player. So, great story. He gets drafted from his home team. First few years weren't so good. He was great, but his team wasn't so good. And fast forward to 2007. He makes maybe one of the greatest, if not the greatest, playoff run to the finals. To say it was a below average team would be an understatement, I think. The only thing that compares to was the 2001 Allen Iverson run with that team. But even he had the Mutombo, to help him. James only had an Ilgauskas, He makes the final. And then I was on his side, I wanted him to win. I was rooting for him. But the Spurs were too good for him. He tries the other years. When finally, about 2010, I think, I think he realized he could not do it. He was frustrated. He wanted his GM to bring in more players for him. There are stories that during a seven game series with Boston, during particularly the game 7, he was out of it. He already had made his decision that he wanted to leave. Glenn Big Baby Davis admitted that too in many interviews. We do not know for sure, and probably never will. And there goes the first thing for which I hate him. I began hating him. Here comes summer. Okay, you are LeBron James. Of course you are. You have played in the league. You have given 7 great years to the Cleveland Cavaliers without anything to show for it. So it's completely understandable that you want to move on. You don't think, you see the management, they are not willing to make any moves to take you to the next step. You hear the critics here and there. You will never get any titles. You will never get to Michael Jordan. There's pressure. I get that. What rubs me the wrong way is that the decision, the whole way he handled it. You didn't have to make a show of it. All the media, what have you, here and there, the seats, everyone was talking about it. Even, I don't know who was it. It might be ESPN, TNT, I don't know. They had a special, a 1 or 2 hour special, where they had some video packages, etc. And at the end of it, LeBron James would then announce there live his decision. My understanding was that that the Cleveland Cavaliers did not know about his decision until about when the show was about to air. That's when they got the decision. He didn't even have the common courtesy to tell them. That's so disrespectful for me. Because, okay, I get it. You are frustrated with the organization. You've given them 7 great years. Your maybe best years of your career. But here are the guys who fed you all the time. They gave you their money. Money, if I might add. And you treat them like that? Okay. He then announced that he would go to force the super team in Miami Heat. Here is another thing that rubbed me the wrong way. All the shenanigans that went with it. All the parties where LeBron and Boss and Wade would go out in huge crowds like it was a freaking... I don't know, a freaking concert or something. And they would play out to the crowd, and LeBron would announce that we're not gonna get 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5 championships, etc. Okay. You can tone it down a little, tone it down. Have some respect. Then there goes the 2011 finals with Dallas Mavericks, which many describe as, well, most notably Skip Bayless describes as the biggest meltdown of a superstar in a big stage. And it probably was, you know. I may have been not watching NBA regularly for many years, but I have watched and am watching many games, and I can say I did not see that coming, you know. I did not see that kind of meltdown coming. And then, okay, there goes the 2012 where he got his redemption. He got his first ring against a baby team, you know, OKC, with three promising superstars that were at the very early age. So yeah, he got his redemption there. And then he got his repeat with a great Ray Allen shot, you know, and then got destroyed the following years by the Spurs again. And here comes again the next part where I should not say hate him. I don't respect him. That's what I'm going with. I do not respect him for that. He saw then, after an annihilation, that's what it was, you know, by the Spurs the following year, he saw that the Heat team was aging, you know, they did not have any bench. He saw that the game was shifting to a different direction, the three-point direction, which was a big problem for the Heat the 4 years that Lebron stayed there. They didn't have any. Well, they did have one or two, but not many three-point shooters. So he decided to skip both again. And right on cue, he came back to his hometown. Now that he saw a Kyrie Irving, a Kevin Love deal coming up, he decided to come home. And don't get me wrong, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay? It's his choices. He can do whatever he wants to, but do not sell me like that. Do not sell it to me like that. He had an enormous letter written that I came back to my home and this is where I belong. I'm one of you, and what have you. Don't give me that, you know. You are not one of us. If you love your home so much, why did you leave the first time, in the first place? Huh? Why did you leave then? And why did you come back here now, conveniently, now that you see that we're building something here? Why did you do that? If you love us so much, you know, you shouldn't do it like that. You should stay here for the good and the bad. Oh, forgot his big statement when he left the first time. That he's taking his talents to South Beach, okay? Not so good, you know? Not so good. Anyways, he decides to come back. As a fan, you know, I was really mesmerized by that decision because it changed the dynamic of the NBA. And it worked well for him, I guess. He did lose the first time to my Golden State Warriors, but let's not be cruel. with him. He did not have Kyrie, he did not have Kevin Love due to a dirty play by Olynyk. And he tried. He did his best. That finals, along with his first in 2007, was very unfair to him. He should not have those losses on him, because there was nothing he could do. He was too short-handed. So there came the last year's finals, 2016, where they should have been annihilated, but a controversial, for me, call for Draymond Green to get suspended for one game, mainly due to his reputation and to whom he did what he did. Many say he punched him in the guts, whatever. I didn't see anything. What I saw was James blatantly stepping over him, standing over him, stepping over him, and Draymond Green was not gonna have anything of that, and he would lightly put an elbow or something. Well, my understanding was what I think. If there was a suspension, they should both be suspended, but okay. Draymond Green got suspended, and the rest is history. They won their championship, and I did not like his how he acted to that. I think there's some theatrics there, with the crying and another letter that he brought a championship to his hometown. I do not buy that, I do not think he loves his hometown so much. He would not have left, He would not have left if he loves that, Kobe Bryant did not leave because he loved LA. Even though he had an amazingly bad teams, especially during his last years, and I do not respect Bryant much. I do not respect the fact that he would not take a pay cut so that they would have better teams, better teammates, but that's another topic for another day. So fast forward to this NBA season, he continues to whine and bitch and whatever every single week about how much help he does not have. He always wants another player, another star, another shooter. We don't have much help. We are too top heavy. That he usually says, And here's what I think. You are a superstar. You openly claimed during this summer that you are chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan. What my understanding is that if you are a superstar and the best player in this world, which he is right now, I will admit it openly, even though I am a hater. I am not a blind man. I see that he is a freak of nature. He is about 7 feet tall and can outrun almost everyone, and he makes everyone around him better. But if I have you on my team, if I pay you the max, which you deserve, of course, I want you should not You should not need much help because you are the freaking best player in the world. If I have you and I still need another 5, 6, 7, 8 superstars around you, so what's the point? You know? What's the point of having you? Why shouldn't I get a Steph Curry? Because why shouldn't I get someone else that will not pressure me all the time? Because that Cleveland Cavaliers team, don't get me wrong, if they had a Bogut healthy, I think they would be right up there, maybe better. Maybe we would consider them better at this point than the Golden State Warriors if they had a healthy Bogut. Because they are more complete this year than the Warriors are. They do have more bench weapons. And I do strongly believe that you can switch LeBron James with any other Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, James Harden, maybe even Russell Westbrook, and they still would get to the finals. I don't know if they would get past the Warriors or the whatever other team they would face in the finals, but that's the bottom line. What I think, that if you are the best player on this planet, you should not need much help. You should be the help. You should be the difference. You should be the difference maker, you know? You should not have to bitch and Michael Jordan never did, you know? The first year he got Scottie Pippen. The first year that Scottie Pippen became an All-Star, they did not lose. They didn't ever lose. They lost one time, the year he came back from playing baseball, where he wasn't right, he wasn't in the right condition. But apart of that, they won every other championship. He had one guy that year. One guy. Okay, you can argue that during their second repeat, they had Kukoc, they had Rodman, they had many players, okay, but during their first repeat, I dare you, go back and watch that team, watch some games. And see what LeBron James has with him. Lastly now, what for me seals the deal that there should never ever be an argument whether he is the first or Michael Jordan, and this has ended. Well, not ended. I think that if he wins it this year and wins it the next year as well, and maybe even makes another final, even if he doesn't win, then we could have an argument. But apart from that, I so much hate the fact that he is not a closer. The best player in the world is not a closer. You do not want him with the ball in his hands, with the shot clock coming down to 0. You do not want him. He almost always shies away from the challenge. He cannot take it. And you cannot change that. Dwayne Wade was the closer on the Miami Heat, and Kyrie Irving is the closer now. We saw that on Game 4 the other night, where Kyrie put up 21, I think, in the third quarter, and we've been seeing it probably since he came in the league. In fact, I cannot think of a game winner that LeBron James had. Only one I did watch live too was against the Wizards during the regular season this year, where he missed a wide open layup where he traveled for about 4 steps. We're coming back to that again. And during this, they got the ball back after that, and he made an insane three-pointer where he banked it in. Amazingly lucky shot, but apart from that, I do not get that. So those are my feelings about him, I've been going on for very, very long. Oh, it's half an hour now. So I leave you with that. If you like that, if you like what I'm saying, give me a like, whatever, give me a dislike. If you want, write on the comments what you liked about me, what you didn't like about my podcast, and I'll see you around. Thanks for listening. Bye.